Welcome to episode 3 of the Warrior Pulse. I'm your host, Trey Heath, the head men's and women's tennis coach here at Weber International University. Today I am honored to have Jessica Terry and Kendal Clark. Jessica is a senior volleyball and beach volleyball player from Phoenix, Arizona, and Kendal is a senior cross country and track and field from Goodyear, Arizona. And that's the reason they're here together today. So first of all, Jessica, please introduce yourself.
Hi guys, my name is Jessica Terry. Like I said, I am from Phoenix, Arizona. I do play beach and volleyball. I'm very involved here at Weber, so I'm really excited to be here today.
What are some of the things you're involved in?
Well, I came in as a freshman and I was able to be on the honors program. And through the honors program, I was able to be a part of PBL. It's just basically a business club. And I was able to be the vice president last year. So yeah, I've met a lot of really good people through there.
Very good. Kendal, tell us about yourself.
So I'm on the track team and cross country team here at Weber. I've worked all throughout college, so I've spent a lot of time, outside of the classroom at work. I work in the financial aid office at Weber, so I'm very involved in that, and I stay all summer long, so a lot of, full-time employees will see me here all summer long with them. So yeah, I spend a lot of time at Weber year-round. And yeah.
Weber is a very athletic-centric school, but to get two athletes from the same state so close together, Goodyear and Phoenix are pretty close together. How did you guys end up coming together to Weber 2,200 miles from home?
Well, actually, we were best friends. So I lived in Goodyear, Arizona, and then in 5th grade, Kendal moved right by me. We were like we lived 4 houses down from each other. So we became really good friends 5th grade, and then all throughout high school, she ran track and I ran volleyball, and then senior year is when I was looking for schools to play volleyball at, and I wanted to obviously venture out and go somewhere else. So I was looking at schools in Florida, and she was thinking about doing the same thing. So we were kind of piggybacking ideas off of each other. So I think that's what brought us here.
Yeah, I want to add because I honestly, originally, I was thinking military because my family is 100% military. All my siblings, I have, 4 ahead of me, 4 ahead of me. I'm the 5th child, so they've all gone in the military so far. So I was like, I don't know a thing about college. I don't know how to go about it, especially with being an athlete, the process and everything. I had no clue. But obviously Jessica's parents, because we were so close, were my second parents. So they were literally my second mom and dad. So they stepped in and they were helping Jess. That was her plan all along, was to be a volleyball collegiate athlete. And I had never really thought about it. They're well, what about track? You're decent at it. What if you did that in college? What if you do that instead of, going to the military? You can get a scholarship, blah, blah, blah. So that's kind of they kind of helped me maneuver that whole situation, and that's where. So if anything, I feel they kind of brought me here in a way, because I would have never considered it if not for Jess.
So let's talk about the why Weber part. So you're in Arizona. On the way here, there are 1,000 schools that you could go to before you come to Weber. Why Weber?
Well, I had visited a couple schools in Arizona and a couple in California. But when I visited Weber, I feel the atmosphere was amazing. The people, right away, right when I came here, they were so, loving and, passionate about me, coming. So they wanted to try their best to, be so friendly and nice, and I think that's definitely what brought me here.
Yeah, and as far as, finding Weber, because I know, there are so many NAI schools. I know originally we even talked about this. We weren't trying to go to the same school necessarily, because everyone's constantly telling you, it's always in your face, don't room with your best friend, don't take your high school friends and try to force it into college. You hear that a lot, because they say, it's college is when you're supposed to expand your relationships and meet new people, this and that. And we were big on that. We were okay, let's do it right. We don't want to, force ourselves to be with each other 24/7 when we need to be going our own ways. Maybe this is time. But it honestly kind of just happened naturally, because we were talking about what state we might want to go to. Arizona doesn't have that many NAI schools as compared to Florida. We looked at California because we wanted to be by the beach, but then California is very expensive. So we kind of like, and Jessica was the one who was like, well, what about Florida? Because her parents had lived here. So that's kind of how we went to Florida. And then it was just a matter of us looking up the schools. And I feel like it's kind of fate because literally Weber popped up on my screen, it popped up on hers. I think both the coaches reached out to us and we were like, hey, like, we had a conversation where it was like, hey, like, have you heard from a school called Weber? Because we'd always do that. We'd be like, have you heard from a school called Kaiser? Have you heard from a school called, this and that, Southeastern?
Figure it all out together.
Yeah, so then we were like, have you heard from Weber? I was like, yes, and I really liked the coach. That was Coach Andrews. I was like, I really liked him. And she said the same thing. So that's kind of where we were like, okay, Weber, let's go visit. And that's
awesome.
kind of...
Well, the funny thing is we talk about, you come here, you find it, and it appeals. Well, first of all, good job, Weber, on your SEO to get people to find it in their search.
Exactly.
So good job on that. So whoever's handling the SEO for Weber, congratulations. Let's get a little sports specific. One of the things I love is I love quotes, and we'll do volleyball first. So this quote's from Carrie Walsh. You have to want it bad enough to suffer the losses, to suffer the obstacles, to suffer the inevitable heartache when you put yourself out there and fall short. So that being said, what is your greatest accomplishment and biggest struggle while being here at Weber? And it can be athletic, it can be academic, it can be PBL, it can be any of those.
I think my greatest accomplishment so far is my senior year, actually. I was able to be the social media manager for the volleyball program through my internship. So I think me creating like all the content on the social media pages was a really good accomplishment for me because I could see like how far I've come from the beginning. And especially because that's what I want to do when I graduate. I just love being able to learn and grow from that.
Okay, cool. What was the biggest hurdle?
The hurdle, I would say,
No pun intended.
Oh my god, don't jump for her.
Take
She
your
did long distance. I think my biggest struggle would be like the fact that I had to do it on my own. So I had to figure everything out on my own. There wasn't like, obviously I had Coach Han being able to help me through the process, but she wasn't really like, she doesn't really know anything about like social media. That's why she wanted me to do it. So I think the biggest struggle for me was like teaching myself how to run a social media page.
I think for us older people, that was a slight dig on us. We don't know anything about social media.
No.
So as we move to Kendal, your quote that I pulled off for cross country, the thirst you feel in your throat and lungs will be gone in minutes after the race is over. The pain in your legs within days, but the glory of your finish will last forever. So as we transition to you, what was your greatest accomplishment? Same thing, academic, athletic, and also biggest struggle.
Well, first of all, I love that quote just because I don't know if I've ever heard that quote directly, but I've said that in my head before. Like during a race when I'm really struggling, I'm like, okay, this pain is only temporary, but the success lasts forever. Like that's like a mantra that we like hear a lot. So
that's how I feel when I'm running, just in general.
Yes, it's like this pain was temporary. It's temporary, but the success is forever. But okay, so my greatest achievement, I would say, would be making nationals for the past 2 years. Basically just because it's a track of how far I've come. I would say like it's basically like a journey because my first 2 years here I was navigating balancing everything and figuring out I don't want to say work ethic, but like how much am I going to give to my sport, because I have to give to my sport, I have to give to school, I have to give to work, which is something new because now I have to support myself. So that's like a huge obstacle now to deal with. So it's kind of like, how serious am I going to take this sport? Because I did come here for a reason, but how much can I give it, because I do have to worry about my other things. So I guess my greatest achievement was I had this moment like I think two summers ago where I was basically just like, what do I want? Like, what's my purpose? Why am I here? Why didn't I just go to school and not do a sport? I'm here for a reason. So am I just going to take this as a means to an end and just go with the motions and show up to practice and just give it not 100% and everything? Or am I going to apply myself and really motivate myself and just do it because I'm here for a reason again? So that's my greatest achievement, was really just having that moment and then sticking to it, because I promise you from that moment on I had this like day where I was like, I'm going to do this 100%, I'm going to see what happens, because I used to always tell myself I can't possibly wake up at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. and do a full run and then go to work and then do class. Like I can't do that. That's too much for any person to do. So I just wouldn't do it. to be honest, Simpson's probably gonna hear this and be like, "Are you kidding me?" So there would be plenty of days that I just would not get up and run. So I guess my achievement is just being, disciplining myself and actually doing it, and then making it to nationals.
And would you say that's kind of that was the struggle, was getting past that point?
Yes, and that's what I was already kind of thinking in my head. That's my struggle as well, was the motivating part, being able to balance everything. Yes.
As we kind of get towards the end of the questions, you both have been here for 4 years. You're both studying the same thing. Actually, what are you studying?
Marketing.
Okay.
Same, marketing.
And what do you want to do with that?
You go first.
Well, like I said, I honestly don't exactly know what I want to do when I graduate, but I think I just maybe a social media manager for a company, some type of corporation.
And yourself?
So I just recently kind of figured things out, and we've talked about that because she's like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like,
stressing.
I swear, as a senior, I feel like you just like have a moment where you're
Yeah.
like, okay, wait, I'm gonna do
Epiphany.
that. So
Yeah.
I don't want you to feel like I don't know what I'm doing, but like a month ago, literally, I just figured out what I'm doing. So I think I want to get into real estate. So my aunt is in real estate in Vegas, so I'm gonna move to Vegas when I graduate, and we're gonna get into real estate, and I'm basically just she's kind of gonna be my mentor, and we'll just get started and start from there, see where it takes me.
That's upsetting to me, but that's okay.
I know. This is gonna
I'm
be
proud of
so
you.
hard. Literally.
Yeah, that's gonna be the hardest part.
Since Kendall mentioned the real estate, I must do a shout out to my wife and at your service, Century 21, since I am still a licensed realtor.
Oh,
Awesome.
As we progress on, you both came here. You both came for a visit. What is some advice that you would have for parents and athletes that are looking for schools as they do the search? Because it sounds like you guys did a pretty intensive search.
Mhm.
So, what advice would you have? Because Weber is not big.
yeah.
And there's big schools, there's small schools, there's schools on the water, there's schools in the middle of nowhere. What advice would you have for parents and students?
At the beginning of my recruiting, I had no idea what I was doing. Like, I was just researching schools and like hoping for the best. But there's this really good website. It's called NCSA.
Okay.
And it's a really great recruiting website. You can put all your video on there. You can talk to any coaches around the world. Like, it's a really amazing platform to use when you're trying to get recruited.
Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, and you are really knowledgeable on like the actual, websites and resources to use. That's where like I said, I was just kind of following Jess around, like, oh, what do I do next? How do we do this? Okay. So like, I guess my advice would just be to consider NAIA schools, just because, I mean, what I've realized or come to realize is everyone puts so much emphasis on NCAA, and it is great, and they have some really great programs, but there's so much more in NAIA to explore as well. Like, there's so, like, what I've found from my experience is a lot of NAIA schools have the the opportunity to be more close knit, and with your coach, with your team, you're allowed to do certain things that NCAA is prohibited from doing, just in the relationships that you can build with the team and with the coaches. So that's my biggest advice, is just be open-minded. Like, don't be, as a senior in high school, I think a lot of athletes have an ego, and they're very stuck on I want to go to, I don't care if it's D1, if I can't do D1 I want D2, if I can't do D2 I want D3. And
Right.
D3 at that point, okay, you're kind of on a competitive level, you're kind of equivalent to NAIA. So it's I would just say be open-minded to NAIA.
Yeah, and also with the smaller schools, when I first got here, I was wow, this is such a small school. But then once I got here, I realized that there are so many opportunities to be great. If you stand out so much more, and then you get that opportunity to build your resume and meet new people and network a lot better.
I'm going to tie into Jessica's statement on that, and I believe, I don't care where you go to school, if it's 751 students or 45,000 students, you're going to have roughly the same amount of friends no matter what school you go to. So you're just going to be able to see all of them at Weber. Why give Weber a shot from out of state? Like, you guys kind of touched on the NAIA situation, which being in Florida, there's a lot of NAIA schools. But why give Weber a shot? Because that's one of the big things is we have a lot of athletics. We have really good business programs. They're adding programs. In your opinion, why give it a shot?
I mean, to us when we visited, it was just, it sounds so corny, but there was overall feel that we got from every single person that we met, every single person that we talked to, whether it was an athlete, whether it was an employee, whether it was some working in the office, or even both of our coaches. Everyone gave off the same energy, that they were just family oriented, like friendly, like group of people. Like it felt like a community. And as corny as that sounds and cookie cutter, it's honestly it's rang true. I mean, the 4 years I've been here, like it really does feel like a community. So for us, it wasn't so much that we saw that through like looking at the website or talking to the coaches on the phone. That did get us a little bit of a hook to buy or to get on the plane and come out here. It was more once we actually got onto campus walking around, that was our why. It was basically just the overall feel that we had when we left. We were like, no, that's the school, like we're going here. And then Jessica's parents were like, well, relax, we're visiting a couple other schools, like don't make up your mind. We're like, no, we're coming here, like we are coming here, like this is it.
You want to add anything to that?
Yeah, kind of piggybacking off of that, I think that people care here. Like every single person that you talk to, no matter if they're not your coach or if they are your coach or if they're not your professor or anybody around here, they care for you. And if you need any type of help, like people are willing to go the extra mile to help you.
All right, last question. The standard question, one sentence. What does it mean to be a warrior? Go.
To be a warrior, I would say it means to be, let me think for a second here. I would say it means to be a family, because regardless, we've touched on a lot in this, past 20 minutes, but basically everybody at this campus is in a way a family. So to be a warrior is to be a family because you're kind of putting aside that ego of wanting the glam and everything, and you at the end of the day you're going to be a family, whether it's in the classroom, which I found like with those smaller classroom size, whether it's with your team, you're a family. So I would say
Jessica?
to be a family.
Yeah, to be a warrior I would say is to be passionate about what you do, because I feel like everybody around here, like we're all working towards the same goal, so we're all passionate and we're all motivated to get to the next level.
I like that.
Awesome. All right, as we wrap up episode 3 of the Warrior Pulse today, I'm going to leave you with this quote from Steve Prefontaine, one of the best track and field athletes of our time. No matter how hard you train, somebody will train harder. No matter how hard you run, somebody will run harder. No matter how hard you want it, somebody will want it more. I am somebody. Thank you very much for joining us at the Warrior Pulse. Have a great day.
Thank you.